This isn't gonna work well.
It's fun.
If you're thinking about getting into model railroading or you're already an addict, boy, do we have a project for you. In this episode, we ask and answer the question, what is this pink foam board doing in my hobby room? That's coming up right now. Hey, welcome back to the Hobby Room and to the Brownsmith Railroad. Today is March the 8th, and I am jonesing to get some scenery work done. The last time we did any scenery work around here, I think, is when we did the logging camp, and that was like a year ago. And you know, I'm staring here at the logging camp. Hold on a minute, I need a moment. Oh, I love my logging camp, it's so awesome. So it's been a while, and so rather than land track and cutting wood and sitting bench work, I want to get some scenery work done. So what you see behind me is a scene that I call Fertile Valley. I almost called it Switch Junction. That's over there. Fertile Valley produces milk from moo cows and apples from apple trees and some wool and some cotton. The wool and the cotton, it was pseudo represented, but I'm hoping to put an orchard kind of back in here and some moo cows up here on the upper plain. So we're gonna see how that plays out. Featured in this scene is my double track main. The double track main is coming from the bottom deck over here on this side, makes its way behind the layout, comes up behind the logging camp and the coal mine, and pops back out on its way up to the top deck. Also included in this scene is the Switch Junction lead. That's what I'm gonna call it. Comes down this 5% grade. Oh my gato. 5% grade into Switch Junction, picks up a bunch of junk and heads out with it. So that is kind of the pretext of what we want to talk about, or what we're going to look at today. In the background, way back there, I'm going to have some kind of a mountainous feature is what we're going to introduce. In a minute there, we're going to try to sketch that out, I think. And then in the foreground, kind of a rolling plain with some grass and all the other junk we talked about. Also, we need to take a look at this. Just kidding. This has nothing to do with what we're doing. We'll just put that down. I just like looking at it. So we're gonna get started on that by tracing out the mountain, but just before we do, I'd like to introduce you to two characters in today's drama. One is the styrofoam you're used to seeing me use. This is white, I don't even know what you call it. I call it white styrofoam, it's beaded, and it's a lot of fun. It's what I've used everywhere on the layout. I'm also introducing this. This is what we call the pink stuff, the pink extruded foam board. I got a whole bunch of this stuff that I bought just to work with it, to try to be cool like everybody else. And we're gonna talk more about that a little bit later, but I think for this scene, I've got a 4x4 sheet sitting over here. I think we're gonna cut that sucker up and start stuffing it in back there. See if we can't make some kind of a mountainous thing and put our little white styrofoam on hold for right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to get my marker out and I'm sort of going to trace out where this mountainous feature is going to go, and I kind of describe what I'm doing as we move forward. Okay, so as we begin the design phase of this whole backdrop thing, let's keep something in mind. This is where the logging camp stops. The main line's going back behind the logging camp. Ultimately, we're going to have to tie that in some kind of way. Not exactly certain how that's going to happen right now, but I think if I leave myself kind of right about here and continue that mountain scene that way, I think we might be in pretty good shape. So I think that's where I'm going to start. So from that point over there, we're kind of have a rise that comes up, clears the top track here, starts angling back down and ends up right down here. And that'll be sort of the mountainous backdrop. From there, we'll start building stuff that comes down and all that. So why don't we get started by taking a Sharpie and just marking out where we want the top of the mountain to go. I think it's a good idea. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so this isn't exactly rocket science, and I'm also not an artist, so we're gonna do the best that we can. Way back here, I think if I start, let's say here, you can't see that dot, but trust me, I put a dot there. and continue that up. I'll just make sort of a wavy line all the way up to, I think the top of the backdrop is where I think I want to go. Why not? I've got it. Let's do it. Let's just do it. So actually I'll go down from the top over there. I like that better. Hey, this is it. I'm making this up as I go, people. So coming from here, which is where the top of the mountain will be, we want to come down, let's just say something like this. And I bet my big fat arm is in the way right now, huh? Like that, over to something like that. I'll give you a close-up in a minute. And then from there, I think that maxes out there and it starts working its way back down like this and ends up right here at the corner, boom, of the backdrop. Now I gotta tell you something. Hey, it's me again. That already looks cool with just a line up there. Oh, I'm so stoked right now. This is gonna be awesome. I really think it is. So we start from over here and it makes its way up and over and down. Okay, so to get started, I'm gonna cut me a strip of this pink extruded foam board. Now here's the deal. I've only done this a couple times, and though I've seen it done many times in the model railroad video world, this is gonna be my first foray into actually using it. So I got me a razor knife. Now supposedly what happens is you just cut yourself like you score it kind of thing, and then you snap it, and then it happens. So we're gonna just score it and snap it. So I'm only approximating this right now because I am not concerned with exact details. I've got some scoring happening. I'm gonna try not to cut my hand, and it is score. That's the kind of comedy you get in my hobby room. All right, so we scored it. Now it just snaps. That's amazing. We have snappage, people. All right, let's get this out of here for right now. Over here. Just move that out of the way. All right, so how flexible is this stuff? It's pretty flexible, frankly. I'm just thinking that right up kind of where I want my mountain thing to happen. What do you say we just stick that on like that, and then we can come back and shape it? Or should we shape it in advance? I might want to shape it in advance. I'm gonna give that a little shape action. We're gonna just put that there. Where's my knife? Where'd my knife go? All right, found the knife. If I put this up here like this, ooh, I got a better idea. Where's my Sharpie? All right, now I've got a Sharpie. I'm gonna lay it right up here like where it's gonna go, but just beneath my marks, and just go through and see if I can sort of duplicate what I did roughly. I don't know, does that look good? I guess. And I'm gonna I'll take my knife and I'll cut that off real quick, then we'll come back and we will secure this to the backdrop because we need to keep moving, baby. Okay, so I went through and I cut this and I sort of shaped it a little bit and I sanded it. And here's the deal. The whole score and snap thing doesn't work when you've got a contour like this, apparently. I scored it and I went to snap it and nothing happened. So I basically just cut right through it and then I sanded it and I kind of had this boogered up edge here, which is gonna be part of the scenery. But the thing about this and what people say about this stuff instead of the white stuff is the white stuff makes a big mess. And I'm not gonna show it to you, but down on the floor, there's purple crap everywhere. So I don't even know. But hopefully what happens is if I put this up here like that, it's kind of got the shape that I drew out. So what I want to do is I want to caulk that in place right now and see how that looks. So the caulking we're going to use, and it's something I discovered just because I had it lying around, but I totally dig it, is this Gorilla incredibly strong caulk. This stuff is really sticky. and it grabs like right away. It's like a glue, but it's a caulk. I don't know. It's great stuff. So what I want to do is I'm going to take this, put it on the back side of this piece of extruded foam board right here, and just see if I can stick it up there and see how it lays. So let's get on that real quick. All right, well, that first piece seems to be stuck up there pretty good with that caulking already. Once that dries, I think it'll be great. I did have to put a clamp up right here though, because the tension of the styrofoam was kind of popping it away from the backdrop, and I really want it to be stuck down on there. So it's okay for now, I think. But now we've got to get this other part here, and this turn is sharper than that one. And so I'm going to have to come up with a plan B. And so let's see what that plan B looks like, shall we? So to make this turn a little easier to do, what I decided to do was go through with the old X-Acto knife here and cut some serrations in this deal. Is serrations the right word? I don't think it is. So that when I bend it, it won't have so much to bend. I'm going to go through and do this just down the whole length of it. Now again, I've never done this before, so we're making this up as we go along right now, people. All right, let's see how this does. Get it kind of up where we want it. Ah! Well, the score and snap is in full effect. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just snap all of those pieces and then glue them together in order on the layout. Let's just see how that works. Hey, and while I'm thinking about it, I think I'll just put a bead of that caulking stuff right down here and then just stick these things to it instead of putting the caulking on the styrofoam first. I think that's a great idea. Oh, excuse me, it's not styrofoam, it's extruded foam board. Like that. Snap and go, huh? Boom, snapped. That. Boom, snapped another piece. We need a little tiny piece right here. All right, well, there's the start. We've got the ridge line sort of put in up there, and we're gonna let that set up a little bit, I think. But I think while that's setting up, maybe what I'd like to do is get this sort of rolling hill thing put in there, and not exactly certain how we're going to do it. Some kind of way I've got to attach it here and attach it not exactly flat, but maybe at an angle back there. Let's just see how that's going to look. Well, to sort of get started, let's just sort of see. That's like 13 inches. I think what I'm going to do is cut me a piece of that board that's 13 inches by, I don't know, 44 inches, and sort of lay it up in there and just sort of see how it's starting to fit. We'll do some cutting, we'll do some sanding, and I don't know, figure out a way to attach it in there and get going. All right, so there it is set in place. Now, I know it's a little hard to see, but it doesn't quite go all the way back right here. It doesn't touch the backdrop. I'm not certain that'll be a problem because we're going to be coming sort of down to it from here a little bit. We could probably stand to go back a smidge, but here's the deal. I need to figure out how to attach this thing to the layout some kind of way. But I think for starters, what I'm going to do is take my Sharpie, go underneath this layout. Oh, I'm going all the way down, people. I'll be back in a minute. Get down underneath here, and I'm going to trace out where the bench work is as best as I can on this piece. I am too old for this. Then when we take it off, we've got basically the arc of the bench work right in through here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my knife and cut that about maybe an inch bigger all the way around, because we can always cut it smaller, but cutting it bigger doesn't work even in my line of work. Oh, it was a long week, people. What do you want me to tell you? Boom, we have snappage. All right, so there's the basic shape. Right like that. See, we're kind of getting her done there, huh? Bringing you in for the bird's eye view. I think what I want to do is sort of set this right up against that plywood. Problem is, over here, down that way, it hangs out over the plywood a little bit. So I'm going to trim some of it off and see if I can't put a bead of caulk along there and set that in there. And then hopefully it won't go anywhere after we do that. All right, so I got that piece installed. Well, sort of. I still need to go back and do some caulking to secure it and maybe add some supports back here where it's a little flimsy. And then I can already picture the moo cows sitting up there on the layout with a train running by. That is awesome. I'll do that. We're gonna let all that set up and then we're gonna move on with the rest of the project.